When God tells you to do something, do it. Even when it don't make sense, do it. I want to tell you a quick story, and if this resonates with you, just let me know in the comment section, and make sure you like this video, share this video, and watch until the end, because for those of us who are seeking to discern God's voice about your next step, this will change your life. When I first gave my life to Jesus, this was 14 years ago, I was really lonely. I was in a low place. As a matter of fact, I felt rejected by so many people, not only my family, I felt rejected by my friends. And at the time, I felt lonely. I felt like nobody loved me for who I was. I felt like I was just people pleasing my way to getting acceptance. And I was surrounded by a group of friends. We were in a group together. We made music. We fought together. We cried together. We sold drugs together. We smoked together. And I still felt like nobody understood. And it was right there at that moment that I began to call on God. And the reason why I called on God is because I was going through this panic attack. It felt like an anxiety attack. And I was at Mitchell Moore Park. I was at a park right next to a bathroom. I'll never forget it. I could see it clear as day. Right across the street from the high school I went to, there was a park. And I sat there as I was listening to one of my friends who just got an attempted murder charge because of a beef that I was going through. I was fighting against these guys at my school. And I remember figuring out, okay, what am I going to do to get back at those guys? But I remember the Holy Spirit speaking to my heart. Like, I didn't know it was the Holy Spirit then. But as I got older, I realized that was God calling me. And God was telling me, give my life to Jesus. And from that day, 14 years ago, I gave my life to Jesus. And that was the best decision that I've made. I found more peace. I felt more joy. I was genuinely happy. I wasn't trying to people please my way to acceptance because I felt the acceptance from God. And I remember how difficult it was to try to convince people that I'm a changed man. How difficult it was for me to try to stop smoking and stop following my old ways and my old habits. But it was the best decision that I've made. I heard God's voice speak to me so clearly. And over and over and over, God kept revealing to me that, you know what, Mark, I'm calling you to preach. Like men and women of God would come up to me and tell me, Mark, you're going to be a preacher. You're going to be preaching to the nations. And I would look at them like, no, I'm not. Because why would God use me? I was just smoking weed and I was just trying to do my thing in the hood. Like, why would God want to use a wretched man like me? And all of a sudden, I kept getting dreams that God would reveal to me. I would see myself preaching in front of millions of people, and it would freak me out. I would wake up like, what was that? And over, I felt like I was pregnant with dreams and vision that God would show me that I would reach people for Jesus. I would see myself in a suit preaching at a church. I remember the last time that I was like tormented with this dream, that I would see myself preaching in a desert full of millions of people. I'm talking about large numbers and large groups of people. It felt like I couldn't even count them. And that would freak me out. But there was one day I said, you know what, God, I say yes. I stopped being afraid of the call that's on my life. I stopped being scared and I was like, Lord, I say yes. And from that decision, I've seen so many people transformed by my obedience to God. It didn't make sense in the beginning. It did not make sense to me at all. Like, why would God call me? I didn't go to school to be a preacher. Like, I was trying to be a rapper. I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to be what I saw in my environment, smoking weed, selling drugs, gold's in my mouth. And all I could say is from my yes, which I know it was the Holy Spirit that led me. The Holy Spirit that influenced me in my decision making. I said yes, and from that day forward, I have seen people impacted from my obedience. I have seen lives transformed from my obedience, from my yes. I'm seeing so many people impacted from this online ministry. I I now walk into rooms where people honor the gift of God that's in my life. I spend time speaking to people and counseling people and pastoring people and preaching to people, and I could see tears rolling down their eyes. One person told me that I stopped them from committing suicide. Another person told me that I saved their marriage. And all I kept seeing is testimony after testimony and people after people telling me how what I've said it out of my mouth has blessed them. And I know it's not me. I know this is all God. I know it's God. Because who am I? I can't save anyone. I can't make someone give their life to Jesus. I've seen people give their life to Jesus because of the ministry or the content that I've produced and that I've posted on this platform. There are people that I've prayed for in person, at my church, at the mall, at work, people that are within my proximity that have been blessed because of my yes. But that happened 14 years ago. I didn't know it was the voice of God, but today I stand before you to testify that it was God that has led me to do everything that I'm doing right now. The doors that have opened, the opportunities that has came up, like the network that I've established, all because of the grace of God. The people that I know, the rooms that I've been in, YouTube has invited me to so many of their events. And I'm like, God, why me? And if you're here today, wherever you are, you're watching, I want you to know that if God told you to do something, just say yes. Because God told me to preach and he kept reminding me over and over, but I kept resisting it. God called me into ministry and he kept reminding me over and over. I kept resisting it because I felt inadequate. I felt like I wasn't at a place to be doing God's work. I felt very sinful. But one day, the grace of God influenced me to say yes. And I don't know who this is for, but if God's been speaking to you and he's been trying to tug at your heart, just say yes, because you never know how that yes will bless your life. I'm a living testimony of it. I should have been dead. I should have been locked up. I should have been slung up on drugs, but I'm still here. I'm here to testify of how good God is. Jesus died not only for me, but he died for you. And if he died for you, that means you mean so much to him. And he has so much in store for you. Do not give up. You could probably hear God's voice right now. If God's been speaking to you, just say yes. No need to resist the voice of God. Lean into it and watch where God takes you because of your obedience. If this was helpful, let me know in the comment section. And I want you to share this video because you never know who needs to hear this. Because on the other side of that yes is a blessing not only for you, but for others who are connected to you. God bless.